Tender, moist banana bread that you make at home is easier than you think. Add in some nuts and you have the best banana nut bread ever. Hey everybody, I'm Kelly with the Suburban Soapbox, and today we are making the best banana bread and we're throwing in some nuts. This banana nut bread is just so tried and true. We have been making this for like 30 years. It is my favorite recipe to just whip up when you have those black bananas sitting on your counter and you don't know what else to do with them. This is what we make. It's easy, it's quick, and freezer friendly. So if you just have bananas sitting around and you want to freeze a loaf of banana bread, this is how you do it. To get started, all you're going to need are some easy pantry ingredients that you already have in your kitchen, I guarantee it. So bananas, obviously. I like them a little darker than this. If they're about this overripe, you can mash them up. I'm gonna show you how to do that today. You're also going to need 2 eggs, some sugar, butter, low-fat milk, walnuts or any other kind of nut that you like, salt, baking soda, Greek yogurt, and all-purpose flour. So to start our banana bread, peel your bananas and just kind of break them up into a bowl. And this is only if your bananas are not like super dark. If they're really, really dark to the point where they're kind of like falling apart, you can throw them in the mixer and the mixer will do the job for you. But these are just a little stiffer, so I don't want big chunks of banana just floating around in the batter. I really want them to be kind of blended in. I like to take a pastry blender and kind of just mash them up with that. A potato masher also works really well too. Or you can just use a fork. Or you can use your fingers. But I find this works like really, really well. You want them really mashed up. And then once they're mashed up, they kind of break down a little bit easier in the batter. So even if they're kind of chunky, you don't need to worry about it because they're already on their way to being like overripe bananas. Now we're going to start our batter. And to do that, we're going to pour the sugar into the bowl of a stand mixer and the butter. And we're going to beat the butter and sugar until it's like light and fluffy and crumbly. So you can see the sugar and butter is like the consistency of like wet sand. Once you get to that point, you can pour in the bananas. And you can do this when the stand mixer is running on low, or you can turn it off and just give it a stir until it's combined, and then we're going to stir in the other ingredients. To that, we're gonna add 2 eggs, and you wanna mix each egg in before adding the second one. So we're just gonna add 1 egg, stir it, and then add the second egg. Now we're gonna pour in the milk, and then once that's stirred in, we're going to add the Greek yogurt. Now we're gonna whisk together the dry ingredients. So I have 2 cups of all-purpose flour, the baking soda, and the kosher salt. And you just wanna whisk that to combine it. And I like to whisk it together, gives it some air into the flour so it's less dense when you pour it into the bowl. You're gonna take your spoon and scrape down the sides of your bowl just to make sure there's like no extra butter or Greek yogurt or anything on the sides. I'm gonna turn the mixer on low and slowly add the flour mixture to your wet ingredients. I like to take a couple walnuts out just to put on top of my bread before I bake it, so then you know it's banana nut bread. Once your batter's combined and smooth and looks like all the flour has been incorporated, you can fold in your walnuts. This is only gonna take about 5 seconds at best. You just want them folded in. So I like to add some, let it mix, and then add the remainder, and it folds it in beautifully. So now I have a 9-inch loaf pan, and it's already coated with cooking spray. So we're gonna pour the batter into the baking dish. Now our batter's in the loaf pan and we're ready to bake it, but I want to put these walnuts on top. Cooper. You can't have banana bread. Go lay down. Now we're ready to bake. So you're gonna bake in a 350-degree oven for about an hour. And it might take a little more depending on your oven. So I like to check it at an hour. It probably will not be less than an hour. And just tap it lightly and you'll be able to tell. If it springs back quickly, then it's done. You can also use a cake tester. Just stick it in the center. If it comes out clean, you're good. So an hour, check it. You might need an hour and 5 minutes. So I already baked up a loaf ahead of time, so we don't have to wait for that. And you just want to take it out of the oven and let it cool in the pan for about 10 minutes. I like to put it on a baking rack, like a cooling rack. And then after 10 minutes, when it's like a little cool enough to handle, you want to take it out of the pan and leave it directly on the cooling rack. Let it cool to room temperature. It takes about 30 minutes. It's also phenomenal warm, but you don't want to cut it too soon because it's going to dry out your banana bread. So this one is ready to go. I'm just going to slice off the end because I don't really love the end. I like a piece from the center. But you can see there's like so many nuts in there. It's just studded beautifully with the buttery walnuts. And got another slice. And this slice is mine. And I like to nuke it for about 10 seconds most days with like a nice thick layer of butter, but I'm just going to dive right in right now. It is so good. It's sweet and buttery, and the nice crunch from the walnuts just gives it like the perfect contrast. It is perfect. If you like this recipe, please be sure to give us a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. For more easy recipes, visit thesuburbansoapbox.com. Thanks again.